Like I said, there are 4 cardinal points. The neighbourhood dime store, the hospital, the court, the sinister smiles of the police. I buy a copy of the paper. I wonder about informants. There is nowhere to run. They control the entire geometry. Cops invent jails. Jails invent cities, invent epochs. Let's listen to some music. Let's go to the pictures. The heroes have clear skin and always escape in the end. I tell people I'm living, but it's not what they think I mean. Yeah, I know we don't believe in anything anymore. We write poems and never open the curtains. Poems. They contain within themselves the secret workings of the sun and the means to spot an informer at 20 paces. Come, let's close our eyes one more time. Let's not bother to fuck. Tell me one more time how our skin can become communal. This is barbarism we're living in. The fear is dull and feverish. Dear Katerina, started feeling guilty, so I wrote her a letter. Dear Katerina, yeah, I know things are bad for us all these days. I've lost count of the number of people who've disappeared over the past few months. There's an uneasy nausea settled into the basic awareness of, well, everything. It's not even the news or the weather. Even the raw evidence of our senses, sounds of machinery outside the window, smell of diesel and gas, the elevated railway, birdsong, etc. It's all become sinister. The sunset is a warning. The ticking of the clock is a threat. Everything has combined into a pitch malevolent force that has gathered up all of our slogans, our unfinished business, our favourite songs, our raised trembling fists, and transformed them into a great choral shriek of "They've won, you hopeless bastard, they've won." Dark times, everyone says. From the centre of a light so fierce it has scraped who knows what all over our retina. For the lack of anything better to do, I sit here and try to conjure up some kind of meaning from the scars that have been left there. I sit there in the dark and I read your poetry. Or rather, I reconstruct from memory what translations of it exist. I stare at the traces of an alphabet I don't understand, and I think that in the gulf that separates your poetry from mine, I might be able to find the beginnings of a counterlight to see by, or a way of pronouncing the language needed to help undermine the fascist tinnitus that all of our sensory networks have become. Know what I mean? All I know is I'm telling you this because I sense something of this desperation, a desperation I'm determined not to normalise in your work as well. Nearest I can get to it is a dream I had when I was very small, before I knew how to read or maybe even speak, I'm not sure. I was in some kind of quarry. There was a man in a dark suit standing nearby. In the quarry's wall there was a face, human but seemingly made from some kind of plastic. As I looked at it, it opened its mouth and began to make a low moan. Somehow, I was aware of a kind of rotational moment, as the moan continued, building in gentle intensity until it became a siren shriek. That's all I remember, and it's haunted me ever since, through these recent nights, as the light and the heat and the scars have grown too fierce to see by. I've been thinking about this dream, this distress call from the centre of a language I don't recognise, this... I don't know. It's a weird game to ask advice from the dead as they walk toward us, telling us our fortunes from their enclaves in the landscapes our poems try to describe. New signals, isolated, inseparable, all colours are fascist. In the holding cell, the unmarked grave is all history or abattoir. One royal car, one screaming mob. 3 days awake, I can't find the door. Already morning, half the people here totally on fire, the rest are made of stone. His thighs are my thighs, he's behind me, walks toward me, his head is shaved, there are no stars. Took pills, he's on the stairs, took pills, says he's an anarchist, knows nothing, chooses things, the man I fucking... He's a British cop, he's been 3 days dreaming, scratches our faces, this place too, talk of bones and fire in the suburbs, yeah, I love him, tells me things I have never owned a mirror, yeah. Kick it in. No, I'm not coming out tonight. Never. Don't speak. No, it's not gonna be okay. And then ghosts come at us, ask us for money, for drinks, etc. In return, we cut off their water, poison the sound waves they live inside. They wait for us at key points of the city, the sites of blockades we talked about endlessly but never put into action. This is a note about the circulation of the disease form, about what Marx had to say about the third day of smack withdrawal. This is the meaning of policing, tiny choked syllables, a blockade on whatever is left of our memories, sirens everywhere. Here we burn the witches. Here we fuck the hose. But oh my friends, we have lost our lives. In the mouths of our enemies. The cracks in their windows. The quiet is compromise. I don't know what it means, that it's not that we don't want to live, but the fuck of it's always being stopped. It's sadder than it seems. The dead know how to use hunger. Caterina Gugu wrote a poem in memory of her friend Pasolini. And sometimes I wonder if the meaning of his death and of his name has changed since then. So much has. I could draw a sort of obscene angle connecting his broken index finger to the fascist cops of Genoa 2001, as when in Gugu's poem the blows of his murderers become identical with different forms of art, with the Vatican and with the hired thugs who split his name apart one night in the 1970s. I don't know if that name is still known. Someone raided his fingerprints away, in the way refugees do to themselves, and they kept them in an office in City Hall. As for the secretive thugs, about all of which is known for certain is they smashed his body to pieces, their faces have been transformed to a ricochet of sparks that spell out all that will ever be known about the unstable meaning of the death of Pasolini. His face was separated from his body. Sometimes we dream of a new landscape, of a city that is mostly uninhabitable desert, but its rich inhabitants never seem to notice this fact. We sketch it on the ground and call it Ostia, Tottenham, Hamburg. Love is invisible, so is terror, and so is Gugu's poem in memory of Pasolini and herself, both of them on their hands and knees, in the pitched illegality of blackness, the ragged perfection of their banners. Fuck's sake. All of us bastards of capital. Yeah, we deserve everything we get. Ghosts or jackknives or angels. Whatever we call it makes no difference. Landlines and blowjobs and public bogs. Night sweats and centuries. Centuries. That's a laugh. Say it. Say guillotine. Say razor. Say fuck it. Our passports are expired. We wait on the runway. We are saying nothing. Say leprosy. Say burn it all down. Say blood flash. Say petroleurs. Say Jesus too, whatever. Don't believe a thing. All now locusts. Run crying to the bosses with those fucking holes in your hands. You go to a fairly good university. Are middle class. You learn several languages. Couple of dialects, at least one specialist jargon. Shortly after this, you walk across 2 mountain ranges, cross a handful of oceans and die twice. Each day between 7 and 3 time stops. You stand on the U-Bahn platform, sell white and brown to trap things, people. They look normal, not at all what you'd expect. You take their place inside the countless police cameras at the centre of their lives, the wreckage of your unimagined city. If you don't work, you get eaten. All we've got, this ruptured past buried under that much bone, the pedagogy of spiked rubble, the tension the police call music. We pass it between us, a substitute for language, sirens everywhere. If and when the door is opened, I'm terrified. Everything white, your face, your name, all white. Force open my hands, put coins there, won't move, never, they know where to find me. A long time has passed, my nails are filthy, filthy, long and sharp, I terrify my friends, this is not imaginary. Coins in my hand, they frighten me, my name, their name, they frighten me. Every day they want me to betray someone, I keep their voices close to my face. Every day they change the words, they say they shot you in the legs. I know they never shoot in the legs, they shoot in the head. The light expires. They extract the mind. Let's try and keep it together, love. Let's get moving.